Good morning to you and thanks for tuning us on Front Page Review. My name is Nyamgul Agaji. We're hoping that you also woke up very hale and hearty and you're listening to us right now. It's always a pleasure having you join us every morning, every weekday morning to x-ray some of the headlines that made it to the front pages of some of our national dailies. Once again, good morning and welcome. As usual, we're going to just read out the headlines to you, and then we're going to join Rufai Hussaini, who will give us his thoughts on the headlines, and we'll come back here and start to talk to ourselves, trying to find a solution to the problems of Nigeria and solve them as best we can, trying to tell ourselves what we need to do and talk to our consciences to do the right thing at all times. Most importantly, we try to encourage ourselves to stay patriotic even in the face of hardship and everything we might be facing right now. Once again, for the third time, good morning and welcome. Eventually, in case you forgot, today is the 23rd of December 2025. That means it's 2 days to Christmas. Okay, so what is your greatest gift that you're going to give for the sake of the reason for this Christmas? The reason for Christmas is Christ. It actually means the Mass of Christ, Christ's Mass. That is, those are the two words that were meshed together to form Christmas. So if you're celebrating Christ this season, what are you going to give up for the sake of Christ? What are you going to do for the sake of Christ? And what do you think is the greatest gift that one should give to humanity, if that is what is paramount on your mind? What do you think is the greatest gift to humanity? What do you think you can sacrifice? What do you think you can do to show that you are in the spirit of this season? Well, a lot of people only think about gifts that will come to them, not gifts that will even go out. There are some people only think about the gifts that are physical and nothing about spiritual or emotional or any other kind of gift. Anyway, on this very, very, very beautiful morning, we're starting with the Punch newspaper, which leads with Jigawa local government unveils monthly allowances for ex-council chairman and others. All right, what a way to start today. Federal government orders security beef up at dormant oil wells in Ogoni land. Okay, a little bit about that story is that the federal government of Nigeria has ordered the immediate beefing up of security at all dormant oil wells in Ogoni Land, Rivers State, to prevent interference and acts of sabotage. The government also vowed to identify and prosecute those linked to the massive oil spill at the Yola oil field in Bayan community, Kana local government area of the state. The National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribado, disclosed this on Monday when he led a federal government delegation to assess the extent of devastation at the spill site in Bayan Ogoni land. Okay, I wish they can just do this for all the places that give Nigeria money, like the gold mines and the mines up north and everywhere else in Nigeria. Borno insists on ban as Tinubu unveils 3,000 electric bikes because the President Bola Tinubu has unveiled about 3,000 bikes in Borno. But meanwhile, Borno State has banned bikes, has banned motorcycles, just like it was done in Lagos State. Okay, Borno has also done that, but the president went there and commissioned 3,000 bikes. So there's confusion there in that state right now because well, the government insists that the ban is in force, but the bikes have been inaugurated or have been commissioned or have been given out. Igboho demands federal government action as gunmen kill farmers in hometown. U.S. begins partial visa ban on Nigerians January 1. Experts decry personnel shortage in blindness fight. Okay, we also have other stories. IMPI pushes local arms production, decon funding. Sanwo-Olu urges Obasa's son to unite Agege, deepen development. That's the chairman of Agege local government. Remember, he contested as a vice chairman, and after a while we had health issues, this, that. He became the chairman. Now the governor is urging him to unite Agege and deepen development. Whatever it is, if you're at the helm of affairs, make sure your people are one. Okay, so we'll move from the Punch newspaper to Daily Trust newspaper, which also leads with a story which we have already read. U.S. Embassy to suspend visa issuance to Nigerians. So it has begun. That will begin anyway by January 1, which is less than 10 days from now. 28 travelers kidnapped in Plateau community. Sad news there. Altered tax law. Federal government defends January implementation, says delay will harm economy. That's the response, the first response I've really heard from the federal government since the hullabaloo about the alteration of the tax law. And they say the defense is that the January implementation delay will harm economy. So whether they did a criminal act or not, it is because it will harm the economy, it should be allowed to go. That is our Nigeria. But I remember that the real definition of the word misappropriation, let's use funds for instance. If you give someone ₦1 billion to buy toilet tissue, and the person uses the 100 billion naira, the billion naira to help people get well, maybe pay hospital bills for people and save the lives of up to 10,000 people, or even 1 million people, it's still a misappropriation. You'll still go to jail if that is what is required of someone who misappropriates funds. So no matter how lofty a thing is, if it doesn't follow laid down rules, if it is a crime, it's still a crime. I don't know whether that definition that I'm giving is a different one. Maybe I learned that from somewhere else. But misappropriation is that you use what you're supposed to use for something else and do another thing, no matter how good it is. So now you break the law just because the economy will gain, according to the explanation, because the economy stands to gain if you start implementation. It doesn't matter whether the law you're now using has been criminally crafted or not. That's what I'm trying to say. Forget that I use the misappropriation thing. But when you do a thing, no matter how good it is, if it doesn't follow the law, it's still criminal. It's still bad. It's still not expected of you to do. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, okay, we move to other news items. One is police arrest dealer with 8 bags of hemp. That is not it. Then we're going to Dangote release hotline to report stations selling PMS above 739. You know that Dangote reduced the price of fuel in designated filling stations, since he doesn't have a filling station himself. Dangote as a company doesn't have, but he collaborated with some filling stations that are supposed to sell according to the price that Dangote gave. Now this price is 739, but some people might want to play some hanky-panky, so he has released some hotlines. So if you are a responsible Nigerian, just read this, take the numbers and find out who is doing shady business with these largesse. I will call it largesse nowadays. Something as high as 739 for 1 liter of fuel is as if you're doing what we call Father Christmas for the people. But that's how it is. Report those people to the relevant authorities, or report them to whoever is in charge of punishing them. Okay, so read that story on the Daily Trust newspaper. Then printers urge federal government to forestall industry unrest over unlawful inauguration. Okay, we'll move from there to Vanguard newspaper. And in Vanguard, the same story about the tax laws is Gazette, Furore. We didn't alter tax laws. That's the federal government saying we didn't alter tax laws. I don't know. They always talk like they're on a different planet. So what happened? Read the story and know what happened. Whether it was a mischievous person that just put it out there, or what? Why is it that every Nigerian now knows, in quote, that the tax laws were changed or were altered? The federal government is denying it. And if they were not altered, whoever carried the first message that they were altered, or these tax laws were altered, should have been arrested by now. So what is going on? Read the story. That's the leading story on the Vanguard newspaper. Gazette, Furore. We did not alter tax laws. That's federal government. ADC. Tinubu's 2026 budget buries next generation in debt. That's what ADC is saying. Trump recalls U.S. envoy to Nigeria. When I saw the story, I didn't know what to think. If we have a good relationship with the U.S., why withdraw your ambassador? So read that story in detail and find out what really is going on. Just don't take it on face value alone. There will be an explanation and everything. So read it on the Vanguard newspaper. Okay, so Nigeria leads as Africa's instant payment transactions hit $2 trillion. That's according to SIIPS. New tax implementation to reduce compliance burden. That's according to RMAFC boss. Petrol supply rises 55% to 71.5 million liters daily. So read that story and find out why that rise. Is it because of the Yuletide? Is it because the price has come down a little bit and people are now buying more fuel? Or read that story and find out. DMO to states, borrow responsibly in line with law. SEC directs market operators to renew registration from January 1. Okay. Capital importation declines 62% to $1.13 billion. PRP raises red flag over alleged alteration of tax laws after passage. All right, so we'll move from Vanguard newspaper to the Sun newspaper. The Sun leads with insecurity, no more hiding place for criminals. That's according to the federal government. Then Tinubu pleased with your leadership, Ribadu tells Fubara. All right. NNPCL's moves to reinvent SEF for growth. We're waiting for that. And 739 per liter, 739 naira per liter. Marketers lament low sales as Dangote launches nationwide petrol rollout. Okay. If you are a marketer, you would say, oh, this is sad news. If you are not a marketer and you're just a consumer, you would say, duh. Okay. So it depends on where you stand. Okay, the Daily Post leads with Yuletide. Nigerians frustrated over power outages, telco service collapse, and airfare hike. U.S. Embassy to suspend issuing visas in Nigeria, 18 other countries from January 1. Okay, we also have AFCON 2025, Osimhen, new Super Eagles assistant captain, penalty taker. In another headline in another newspaper, the coach is saying that despite 4 big names being absent from the team, he is not worried. So, and Osimhen also in another paper said that AFCON is going to be their apology to Nigerians for missing the World Cup. So let's see how that pans out. AFCON. Now, in the Guardian newspaper, you find tax row escalates as groups allege altered law, call for mass action. Okay, it's getting hotter and hotter, and we're getting closer and closer. Will it be implemented or not? Submit yourself for probe. Huriwa tells Malami. Then Omirobo rejects abolition of death penalty, cites constitution. Then Olukoyede links insecurity to corruption. That's what it's saying. Olukoyede, you know him, EFCC. Federal government defends new counter-terrorism doctrine, pledges strict rules of engagement. All right, let's move from the Guardian to the final newspaper we're taking this morning. Federal government, no going back on tax law from January 1. That's a very, very harsh thing to say. It's like saying to Nigerians, heaven would not fall, we will still do what we like, no matter how you grumble. That's what it sounds like. No going back. Even when Nigerians are crying, okay, let's see, January 1 is coming. Immigration decorates 39 elevated controllers with new ranks. That is that. Federal government makes drug test compulsory for public service job seekers. Will they also test politicians? Because that's a public service job. It's a public office, so if you are contesting, will they test the politicians? And who will give us the results if the Boko Haram and terrorism list has not been released till now? I'm just saying. Federal government declares December 25, 26, January 1 as public holidays. Okay. Gains of Tinubu government by information minister. So while we are so angry with the present administration, it will be good to read and know the kind of achievements that this government has made, so that when we talk advisedly. Maybe some of these things are things that we missed, we didn't know them. Maybe some of these things are things that we know are a lie and we want to challenge them, but it would be good for you to read. I'm saying this because there was a time I traveled out from my village to the state capital, and it took me a journey that should have taken me 5 minutes from my village to the expressway. It took me about 3 to 4 hours because the road was so terrible. It was in the rainy season, and it was slippery. The cars were stuck and all that. And I got to the state capital, and I was listening to the news. I was watching the news on television, and I saw that same road that I couldn't pass that morning being shown on the news as a tarred road. It was beautiful road, newly tarred. The signboard carrying the name of my village was there, bright and beautiful. And I was just like, wow, so this can happen. So in the state headquarters, the road to my village was tarred, but where I was coming from that same day, I knew that road had been abandoned for a very long time. So read what the federal government is saying, the achievements of the present administration, and be sure of what is true. Maybe something you missed, maybe something you do not have information to, and all those things. And then maybe you will not be as angry as you are right now, but maybe also it will make you even more angry for you to take action and make sure things are corrected. So it's better for you to read the gains of Tinubu government as stated by the information minister. That story is on the Nation newspaper. And okay, that will be all. Let's just leave it at that. There's so many other headlines that you might want to look at, but those were the ones that we were able to take this morning. Let's now join Rufai Oseni for his thoughts on the headlines this morning.
Okay. Couple of stories making the rounds. The very first story will be about the tax forgery issue. So, since we have gone back and forth as regards the tax forgery issue, and the National Assembly is investigating, the question I would like to ask the government is, why can't the government bring out the tax documents that the National Assembly passed, the harmonized one, and also bring out the one that they gazetted? Because you see, both documents that we're having this bone of contention about, they are both in the government hands as we speak. So why can't they bring out the document as we speak for a level of clarity and transparency? Because when you look at it, this is a highly impeachable offense. And in an event where it is said there's an alteration, then we have to be able to get to the end of the matter. But I also want to call on this government. Hope they are not going to interfere with the National Assembly's investigation committee as regards this tax issue. Be- So it has to be said that we must reiterate that point over and over again. Uh, Another story making the round is as regards the NSC, meeting Fubara and saying, "Oh, I am pleased. Tinubu is pleased with you. I'm happy with you," and all of that. You see, all stories like that are part of the things that are wrong with Nigeria. A president is not even supposed to even be telling the governor, "Hey, I'm happy with you," and everything. We forget in a hurry that the governor is a leader of a multinational, of a subnational on his own. You know, the NSA speaking on Monday when he led the presidential delegation comprising of Minister of Works and the courtesy visit to Rivers State House of Assembly. All of those things just smack of the hypocrisy what our democracy brings. So we need to be talking about real issues in our democracy now. So for the president saying I'm pleased with you and all of that, I mean, there's no big deal to that. See, the most important thing now is that America has pulled out most of its ambassadors from the country. And these are countries relating to Africa and all of that. And Nigeria too will have a new ambassador. What we should now be looking forward to is when they bring in an ambassador that is very, very Trump loyal and Trump leaning, very right wing is an approach. How will that be for relationship between Nigeria and America? I think that's the next phase of questions we should, try as much as possible to understand because the former ambassador, now former, has now been told to come back to Washington while America has recalled the ambassador and while America will be looking for another ambassador, probably a very Trump leaning ambassador next. Taiwo Yedele is saying that the delay in the implementation of a new tax beyond could negatively impact workers and businesses. It comes on the wake of this controversy surrounding, the tax law, the forgery incident. It stated that workers will continue to experience multiple taxation if the laws are not implemented. No, it's not about the multiple taxation. It's about the transparency of the process itself. It's about the trust. It's not by selling, no, business will miss out on the exemptions and some other things we have done in the tax law. It's about the transparency and integrity of the process. Things cannot be touched in the tax bill and we not looking at them. And they don't necessarily, need to be able to stop the implementation of other things. They can just, suspend the implementation of the particular area that they are still working on while they implement other ones. So, but I think Taiwo really should not come and tell us, the integrity and all of it. It's about this. It's about the fact that you have a system in place, that does things unilaterally without even informing the people. So if the lawmaker had not pointed it out, is this how we're going to be going back and forth as regards it? Is this how things will be changed at our back? And what are the some other laws? We should even now investigate. What are the other laws that have been changed at the back of Nigerians without Nigerians not even knowing about them? So what are the other laws that have been changed at the back of Nigerians without Nigerians not even knowing about them? Because definitely if you look very deeply, you will see, that there are many other laws that might have even been changed that we didn't even know about them. And those are the things that deepen the mistrust in government. So all of these things we are saying too, we are helping as much as possible to be able to bring integrity back to the government. Our bankers to customers using public Wi-Fi is dangerous. Hackers on the prowl. Yes, so be careful when you're using our public Wi-Fi. Onitsha medicine market hands over fake drugs worth 265 million naira to NAFDAC. And we've been talking about Reading Society of Fake Drugs. And we're talking about the story that Onitsha medicine fake drug market handing over drugs worth over 200 million to those in authority, those that will be, sanitizing the process. Nigeria for Pakistani charged in US with $41 million insider trading. And like we said, the Nations Cup has started. Morocco did very well. I mean, you needed to see the bicycle kick. It was awesome. Nigeria has sealed a deal, of what about 2.1 billion with America that's going to focus on enhancing Christian-run facilities, to be able to help people in need in the country. And by the way, the Oseni Center did do our annual, outreach at an IDP camp somewhere in Nasarawa yesterday, I mean on Sunday. We did partner on ground with Icon of Hope. 130 remaining Niger school children regain freedom. But the big question is, what about the ones still remaining? I think it was Chidi Ondukalu that first pointed it out. And Chidi Ondukalu was talking about the fact that, yes, by all the calculation, we're supposed to have about, 35 pupils here and there to be accounted for. Why have they not been accounted for? I mean, these are many other multiple questions, we keep asking every day. Why have they not been accounted for? And how can we ensure that we get to the root of the matter? Speaking about tax bill, there's been allegations and counter allegations as regards the ownership of Alpha Beta. In fact, some has been linked to the current president. But the Lagos State chapter of Committee for Defense of Human Rights has petitioned EFCC and ICPC over alleged tax evasion leveled against Alpha Beta Consulting. It was premised on the whistleblowing account of Segun Oluwasomi. Was on the company's payroll between 2018 and 2025. The petition dated December 9 have alleged that Alpha Beta under-deducted tax on staff salaries and under-remitted tax to the government. Alpha Beta Consulting under the leadership of Otumba Akisanya Adohati under-deducted tax from staff, including me, and under-remitted tax to government throughout my stay between September 2018 and January 7, 2025. Salaries were divided in two parts, with only one leg being taxed, and even under tax and even under remitted, instead of paying staff commensurate salaries. And the deserving staff who had not been promoted between 5 to 21 years, while staff salaries can be adequately taxed in line with regulatory requirements. The salaries had been fragmented into parts, into a lesser part being taxed. The ex-staff claimed that the email dated 30th April 2024 from HR of Alpha Beta confirmed that Lagos Internal Revenue Service reprinted the under-remitted tax. This Oluwasomi alleged that the firm promised LIRS that under-remittance of the tax will be regularized. So, if Alpha Beta in the first place, that a lot of people have said, why are they the ones even collecting a fee on the collection of tax in Lagos? Are now underpaying for most of the activities. Then the question is, what's the integrity of the tax system? So these are the many things that always transpire that make a lot of people, look very sad about the ecosystem and not even want to trust governments. It's just like how ICPC has arraigned a director at the FCT over alleged forgery of land documents. Hussein, a director of lands, was arraigned on 3-count charge of forgery, contrary to Section 362 and punishable under Section 363 of the Penal Code. The Anti-Corruption Agency alleged that Husseini, on about the 5th of June 2023, forged a signature of Menisara Babayo, a former director of lands administration at the FCT, on 3 statutory rights of occupancy said to have been issued to Eta Ventures Limited. The properties include plots 3128 plus 3129 plus 1204, all on the cadastral zone E07, Lugbe Central, Abuja. So you can also see the case of fraud, the case of the shenanigan, that goes on in government. And leading up to the game tomorrow, we'd like to wish our Super Eagles well against Tanzania. Hopefully, they should be able to beat Tanzania. And hopefully, I think the Super Eagles should be able to win this Nations Cup and put it in the bag, at least to be able to, console Nigerians on losing out of the World Cup. Anyway, our hope is still alive. And we're still waiting for FIFA to be able to rule as regards the illegitimate act conducted by DR Congo and probably see if we're still going to make it to the Mundial, the World Cup in America. FRSC has confirmed the death of 12 persons, including a child, in an auto crash that occurred on Friday from Ijule to Enugu Highway in Kogi State. The sector commander, Temine Etuku, disclosed this on Saturday while speaking to NAN, that's the news agency of Nigeria, described the incident as fatal and very unfortunate, adding that two other passengers sustained injuries. According to him, the crash occurred at about 11:30 p.m. in the Boko community, in a local government area, involved in an 18-seater Toyota Hiace bus belonging to Romchi Mass Transit. We just pray for the repose of the souls, but we all have to be careful this Yuletide. So some stories still making around. The American government has finally said that they will not issue any new Nigerian visas from the 1st of January this year. I mean, it's part of the visa ban. Although there are some categories that are exempt, but majorly the most categories that people will normally get, the B1, B2, that's the business and the tourism category, will not be issued, and some other categories, I think up to J, will not be issued. But those that already have a visa prior to this time, definitely they will not be stopped. The visa has already been issued. Those visas are not going to be revoked. But it's just the ones, that the fresh new orders. And that would disrupt the life of a lot of Nigerians, because a lot of Nigerians have expectations to go to America for various reasons, for various endeavors, and all of that. Definitely that will disrupt the life of a lot of Nigerians. So that visa ban is a very problematic one. But let's see how it pans out. Let's see how we're able to respond to it. And the federal government has finally come out to say that, be it bandits or be it kidnapper and anything, they are all declared as terrorists. And I think that's a welcome development, because the Americans have been putting pressure on us recently. In fact, there's a story reported that there's been surveillance across, as regards territory, to be able to check for banditry and insecurity activities. So now that the federal government is saying that if you're a bandit, you're a terrorist, I like that designation. Then the next question will be, how can we go ahead and be able to get rid of those people and fight them head on and bring all of this insecurity to a stop? I think that's the priority for us as a nation now, because if we don't do that, then we don't get anything done. And the sad reality that Nigeria has always hovered around the circle, with the wanton level of insecurity, the killings, the destruction of life and property. So if we can get this fixed once and for all, I think it becomes a welcome development. So increasingly we're looking at all of these things, and we are seeing the responses. An American delegation was here only recently, and the American delegation again did speak. Even in fact, they spoke to General Musa, and they met with some members of the press. In fact, Representative Heitinga also did speak to some members of the press, and they are working with the Nigerian authorities to be able to get rid of this level of insecurity once and for all. So let's see how all of these conversations will pan out. Like we said before, interstate transport fare persists. Abuja to Cross River is now 94,000. And the funny part of it is that despite the humongous amount you pay, then you also have to go through the scourge of bad roads. The other day, somebody sent me a message about how they stayed from Lagos to Asaba. They were in the bus for about 22 hours because the bypass was blocked. And the state of roads are bad. I mean, if we say that now, Minister Humayi will try as much as possible to evade it. The tax bill signed into law, National Assembly presented it to him, Taiwo Iwole. The official harmonized bill certified by the clerk was sent to the president. We don't have a copy to compare. So the question is, how would Taiwo Iwole Oyedele, beg your pardon, say that he doesn't even have a copy to compare. And I saw the interview today and I was taken aback on television. He said, what is out there in the media did not come from the committee set up by the House of Representatives. I think we should allow them do the investigation, said the chairman of the Presidential Fiscal Committee and Tax Reform Committee. And this came after a member of the House of Representatives, Dansuki, raised concerns about discrepancy between tax laws passed by the National Assembly and the versions subsequently gazetted and made available to the public. However, Mr. Oyedele stated that the presidency did not have the version of the laws passed that stated that the presidency did not have the version of the laws passed by the president to make any comparison. Before you can say there's a difference between what was gazetted and what was passed, what we have has not been gazetted. We don't have what was passed. The official harmonized bill certified by the clerk, which the National Assembly sent to the president, we don't have a copy to compare. Only the lawmakers can authoritatively say what we sent. That's what he explained. He also added that it should be on record that the House of Representatives or the Senate version, it should be a harmonized version certified by the clerk. I cannot say I have it. I only have what was presented to Mr. President to sign. I know that the particular provision is not in the final gazette, but it was in the draft gazette. So some people decided that they should write the report of the committee before the committee had met, and it was circulated everywhere. Mr. Tinubu recently signed the 4 tax reform bills despite stiff opposition from federal lawmakers. So this discrepancy is going on, and Taiwo Oyedele is saying he doesn't even have these copies. So, I mean, we increasingly wait and see and wait for more clarity on this matter. And analysts are calling for realistic revenues and disciplined budget implementation. Capital market analysts are what they've called for, because it's very appalling when you have a budget like we had the last year budget, and it was just 17% that was used to back up capital expenditure, which is a paltry amount. So, I mean, when you see all of these things, it really gets us all nervy.
Okay, we just listened to Rufai Hosseini giving us his thoughts on these matters on our front pages this morning, and I'm sure that you have your own to also contribute later on. We have not opened our mics now. Our lines rather. We'll do that a little bit later, but we're being joined in the studio here by our in-house guest, Prince Chilaka. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Morning, how are you today?
I'm fine. I always
compliments of the season.
Same to you. I always like it that we start with a smile. You always have a smile on your face, even though after that the heat might be turned on. Anyway, good morning and welcome. Let's begin with this issue of visa. Let's combine them. U.S. will begin partial visa ban on Nigerians January 1. And then the withdrawal of the ambassador to Nigeria.
Well, the ambassador was not appointed by Donald Trump. It was appointed by former President Biden. It's I don't see anything special about it, so to say. But I just think that what Donald Trump wants to do is to ensure that he has people who believe in American first in his cabinet right now. So he wants people who would promote the ideals he believes in as American president. So I just believe that that's what he wants to do. I also believe that it's going to be more effective in terms of what is happening in Nigeria today. This issue of genocide that they have hinged on. So I think he wants to have an ambassador that would be able to buy into that and also be able to tell him, what he thinks is the truth.
Okay, what about the visa ban?
Visa ban, I mean, if you, like I've always said, when you talk about visa ban, who suffers most? The ordinary Nigerians. These politicians don't suffer. They go to Dubai, they go to Canada, they go some other place. So the American government need to, be specific and categorical about who and who the visa ban applies on. But if it's general visa ban just because of what the failure of governance, then it's not being fair on the Nigerian people.
Okay. Now, when we leave the visa ban, let's come back home to the troubling matter of tax. Now, on the Daily Trust newspaper, the headline is Altered Tax Laws. Federal government defends January implementation, says delay will harm economy. And then on the Nation newspaper, the federal government said no going back on tax law from January 1, no matter what, no going back. And on another newspaper, it was said that federal government said they did not alter the tax law at all. So what are we even talking about? So I'd like your comments on this tax law thing.
First, the government should realize that they're accountable to the people, and that when the people begin to question your actions, you kind of step back, listen to them, try to, close the gap. But what we have playing out in Nigeria today is we just have, trust deficit between the government and the people. And the government seem to, prefer to use languages that are very upsetting and very annoying, languages that tells you that the people don't matter, languages that tell you that, well, you guys go to hell. That's what the government is saying, whether you like it or not. And then I'm asking, if you don't implement this tax law in January without resolving the seeming problems that it has generated, how is it going to affect the economy? How is it going to affect the people? I mean, the people have already been paying taxes before now, and they're not even seeing value for the tax they're paying. So now the people are saying, okay, you want us to start a new tax regime, but, issues have arisen, questions have been raised as to, the personalities involved. We are questioning the fact that we're saying, government, you have done something wrong. You have altered this document. And the right thing government should do is to say, okay, we have not altered it, but here are the two documents. This is the one that was presented. This is the one that was ascended to. And then we know, you see, why I'm so...
And then the time frame between when people began to complain and when they have the first statement even saying that they did not alter
the government doesn't care about the people. This government does not care about the Nigerians. This government is deluding itself, and that's why your president and the Senate president can tell you to your face that all the governors are moving into APC. In other words, we're going to have a one-party state. But they don't care about the people. The government is telling you that your votes don't count. And that's what they're saying. They're not missing words about it. Because if the votes of the people count, then you won't have a governor like Mondo Kpagbola in the Edo State that has not even done anything for the people of the state. We can't see anything. Look at what's happening at the Benin bypass. Is that not a shame? He will come out and tell he's going to give the president 2.5 million votes. Where is he going to get the votes from? Where is he going to manufacture it from? So when the government has come to that, mindset of saying, let them do what they want to do. Their votes don't count. We'll have a way of getting it the way we want. Every governor you see now is talking about figures, talking about how they're going to deliver their states. They are preparing the mind of the people towards the rigging they want to do. Because the governors have one vote. You were saying something when I was driving down. You were talking about your state, the roads. And immediately you said that my state came to mind, Imo State. I don't have a road to my house. I'm from Ezinite in Imo State. There's no road. But on social media, we have beautiful road with beautiful scenery and all of that. We don't have a road. I don't have a road to my house. But the governor has built the road in his mind, in his brain. With his commissioners, they have built the road. And it's this delusion that is causing problem, because they keep keep pushing at what is not there. And I ask myself, why are our leaders behaving this way? Why are they behaving this way? Are we saying that we don't have people with conscience? Are we saying that these leaders do not read history? They should go back and ask themselves question. What was it that the late Jakonde did in Lagos that his name still resonates? What did the late Sam Mbakwe do in Imo State that his legacies are still there?
Not 2 tenors.
Just one. It wasn't even a complete one. So they should ask themselves, what are we leaving behind? What will be remembered for? I mean, look at it. The late president is dead, Buhari. Or each time you mention his name, Nigerians will curse him. Nigerians will curse him. You know, they say, speak no evil of the dead. Nigerians have thrown that away. They speak the evil to you so that your family will feel it. So what are these people going to leave behind as legacies?
Interesting. They don't. I usually say this is what I like to say. There's nobody as dangerous as a man who cares not about legacy. Nobody is as dangerous as that.
They don't.
Any man who doesn't care, like
you don't care about your name.
Man die go, woman born another. Those kind of people,
yes.
they are very dangerous. They can do anything because they don't mind. Nothing touches me. I'm dead. I'm gone. And I think a lot of people in the political space are that way. It's unfortunate.
That way. No, it's for them. It's all about how much of the money can come into their account, how they can live comfortably well. Drive beautiful cars, live in air-conditioned houses. They're not even bothered about the bills. Who pays the bill? No, the taxpayers must pay. The Nigerian people must pay.
And they hoard the money for generations yet unborn. I usually ask the question: is that not a poor man mentality? Is that not a lazy man's mentality? Because if you know that you have trained your children well enough, you know that they should be able to generate their own wealth. They should be able to take care of themselves. So why steal for them? It's as if you're saying that these people do not have sense enough to be able to feed themselves when I die.
That's what those in government want us to believe.
It's a terrible thing anyway. Okay, this news headline is saying federal government orders security beef up at dormant oil wells in Ogoni land. It gave me some kind of confusion. So the oil wells are national assets. Okay, so they are ordering a beef up of security, and it seems as if the only asset that brings money to Nigeria is the oil wells.
We lie to ourselves. And the government lies to the people brazenly. We have gold, we have tantalite, we have columbite, we have coal, we have. I cannot authoritatively tell you that Nigeria has 33 mineral occurrences of high value. Why are we not exploring? Why are we not mining them? But illegal miners are having a field day. The same Ogoni that you want to protect dormant oil wells, you have not been able to give them what they want. You have not been able to clear all the mess that how many years of oil spillage has done. You have not been able to do that. So you find out that, that is why the government was quick and fast to declare a state of emergency in Rivers State. Because to them, they were protecting the oil wells. They were protecting the oil pipelines. But in the north, people are being slaughtered. In a state like Benue, Plateau, Taraba, Adamawa, Borno, these are states where you should have declared a state of emergency. You didn't do that. But because you feel that, that is our gold mine. And then a few weeks back, your governors in the north said they were suspending mining. And I'm asking, who is doing this mining? Is it the federal government? Is it the state government? If they're doing mining in the north and they want to suspend it, where is the funds going to? Where is the revenue that is supposed to come to the national treasury? Where is it going to? So we have one arm where you protect the oil well and you allow the other one to be scavenged by anybody who wants.
It's really... Okay, let me let's see what happened in Borno State. You remember that the president was on some states visits recently. I thought he should have just said he's coming to Lagos for Christmas.
He's in Lagos already.
Yes, that. But why just rig my rule? Why just go around? Because I thought that was the end game. But he went to Borno State and then inaugurated 3,000 electric bikes, even when the Borno State has banned bikes, and now the people are confused. So Borno is insisting on ban as Tinubu unveils 3,000 electric bikes is the headline here.
You know, this government keeps doing trial and error. And unfortunately, and I've always said it, I don't know who, those who advised Mr. President, the cartel, as they call them, that are in charge, that manages the president, they're not managing him well. And I say that with all sense of responsibility. You can't say a state government cannot be banning bikes, call it the normal name Okada, and you are launching a new set. In other words, it's like saying to the state government or the state governor, you have no say in this. Just the way we don't, that is the same way Mr. President was being misled in trying to promote his ADC twice. Whether he was being misled, he claims that, or whether it was a deliberate act to just test the waters, who knows? But these are things you do that makes your government look childish. You just create a system where people just mock your government. It's unfortunate, but that's the reality. In one hand, you're saying you don't want this. In another hand, you're introducing it. I saw one honorable member, one senator's wife distributing mat on distributing, and I said, is that how we have gotten to? Is
that prayer mat?
Yes. Is that how is that the level of our poverty? Is that how wicked our leaders have become? You keep talking about empowerment. You keep empowering the people in the wrong way. You have not taken into consideration the number of persons that have broken their legs on Okada. The number of persons in Igbobi. Go to Igbobi. The number of persons in other orthopedic hospitals. You are not thinking about that. If the president wants to empower the people, like I keep saying, why not look at cottage industries? Why not look at things that you empower people so that the people can empower other people? Mm-hmm.
Even our 100 buses that were promised us have not been given.
You know, the CNG brouhaha was just part of politicking.
100 buses for over 200 million people.
Yeah.
Lagos has more BRT than that.
Where are the buses?
We have not seen them, so I don't know what is going on. And the insulting thing is that it was promised at an international event. The climate change thing.
What makes it insulting? Let me tell you. Before the 2023 elections, you remember your INEC chairman went to Chatham House and told them, "Oh, we're going to do this. We're going to transmit results. But when the glitch happened, your Supreme Court said that the INEC was at liberty to decide how to transmit the result. So what are we talking about? What the things Nigerian government officials say outside the country, like you said, is embarrassing. They just say it and they feel that people don't know, people don't take record. They think that they are Nigerians that don't keep record. No, the people keep record. When Reno Makare's name was brought up for ambassadorial appointment, I mean, the internet went and God said, look, this is what you said. And I keep asking up till today, I've not gotten an answer. And I'm saying, is it that all the things he said, all the protests he organized, was it just a hoax? Or are we now saying that, oh, okay, the president did not do the things he claims that the president did? So you just look at people sometimes and you ask yourself, what is going on? Why is Nigeria so backwards in terms of leadership? Why? A country that has been blessed. That's why when people say, "Oh, let us pray for Nigeria in distress," I say, "You're not praying. You don't need to pray. God has given you wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. God has provided everything you need to have a beautiful country."
So are we not looking at the wrong direction? We are looking mostly at the leadership. Are we not supposed to also now look at the followership?
The followers follow what the leaders do. When you talk about the Asian tiger, don't forget, when the Asian tigers decided it's time to develop, they started with their leaders. You can't be saying that you're a pastor, you're asking your church members to go on fasting from 6 to 6, and you are busy eating chicken. So what kind of leader are you? You must lead. It's the duty of the leader to lead so that the people will follow.
So when the leader fails to lead,
the people will go in disarray. And that's what is happening in Nigeria. Your leaders are the most insincere set of human beings. So anybody wanting to blame, yes, you can blame the people if the yardstick is there, if the government has set the right tone, and the people are not, you can blame the people. But I can assure you that Nigerians are, very law-abiding. When you want them to be law-abiding, Nigerians are very law-abiding. But Nigerians are looking at it, and their leaders are doing whatever they want. So what do you want the people to do? Even if the people are doing the right thing, does it change what the leaders are doing?
Okay, just quickly before we go on this commercial break, maybe I'll cut your thoughts if we are not done with it. Petrol supply rises 55% to 71.5 million liters daily. Do you believe in this figure?
Who's giving you the figures? I'm sorry, I'm going to cut you short. Who's giving you the figures?
Oh, well, the federal government.
The federal government. Have they ever, before now, has the federal government told Nigerians what we consume on a daily basis? NNPC has not come out to tell Nigerians that this is the quantity
this is
of
NMDPRA.
We need to know, what do we consume? If you say it is rising, how many people are putting their cars on the road? How many people are running their generators? Even the vulcanizers are finding it difficult to run generators because they cannot afford petrol. So if you say it is rising, we need to understand what you mean by it is rising.
They said the petrol supply in November 2025 was on account of the imports by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. So which means they're doing something that has made Nigerians now begin to consume more fuel.
They are all shying away from confronting Dangote. They're all shying away from that. Dangote has become a whistleblower. He has done it. So why are they not confronting Dangote? Why are they not telling Dangote that what he's saying is wrong? Why is NNPC not at the forefront of bringing down the price of petrol?
Good question. Anyway, let's go to a commercial break. We'll be back right after this.
This is your number one radio station at VOP 90.3 FM.
Your battle will not follow you to 2026. It's the last prayer rain program of the year 2025. Come and give the devil a final punch of defeat through prayers. Prayer rain. Don't relent. Make it a date with God this Friday, December 26, 2025 at the MFM Prayer City along Legacy Badon Expressway. Time is 8 a.m. The wife of the General Overseer of the Mountain of Fire and Miracles Ministries, Dr. Mrs. Shade Olukoya, will be there live. Come with an expectation. Your battles shall expire before the end of 2025. Jesus is Lord.
This is your number one radio station at VOP 90.3 FM.
It's news, it's talk, it's point of view, it's the newspaper review. The show where we don't just read the news, we break it down, talk you through, and then hand the mic to you. From the first pages of the fine print to the last line. Review not just what's in the news, but what it means. Not just what's reported, but what's reviewed. Into a headline breathes and silence gets a microphone. Join Ikami Chude, the voice behind headlines, every weekday from 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. and then 10:30 a.m. to 12 noon for the exclusive interview. only on your trusted dial. Voice of the People. It's news, it's talk, FM. It's point of view, it's the newspaper review. The show where we don't just read the news, we break it down, talk you through, and then hand the mic to you. From the first pages of the fine print to the last line. Review not just...
It's a good reminder that someone was here, and we remember him fondly all the time. Ikami Jude used to be here, so we still remember him every day. And some people call us and ask us where he is, and we'd like to inform you, in case you've not heard, that he's plying his trade somewhere else. He's on a different pasture. Whether it's greener or not, we do not know, but we do know that he's doing well wherever he is. We'll keep praying for him. But right now, the new sheriff is Nyamgul.
The new sheriff in town.
Yeah, the new sheriff in town is Nyamgul. But the love still flows, and we hope that we won't lose the fans who will have even more.
That's the love with the industry.
Yeah.
You know, we don't throw people under the truck.
Yeah. And since I came here, I must say that I've seen massive love. People just connected immediately. They didn't say, okay, because this guy is no longer here, we're not listening anymore. No. Everybody was just full
VOP is one family.
The only problem they have is pronouncing my name. Okay. Anyway, let's open the lines now, so that if you have what to say, you can say now. Now we still have our guests in the house. Maybe your own will be something that we need to answer. We'll answer it. And by the way, just by way of information, yesterday we brought a story about one of our fans who needed some help, and some people were trying to reach out to us to find out some more details about him. So before this show ends, if not now, but the second half of it that begins at 10:30, we're going to tell you more about Chris or Mokogie, who is that fan who has been listening to us but also reached out to us for help. We'll give you his contact because he permitted it. We'll give you his bank details. We'll give you some other details, because these are some of the this is some of the information that people are looking for. So we'll give you that. But now it's time to just pick your calls and let's talk together. The numbers are 0700 903 903 903, 0700 903 903 903, or 080 3692 9933, 080 3692 9933. If it's WhatsApp you want, it's 081 7175 6338, 081 7175 6338. So make that call now, send that message now, and we're waiting. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Yamku.
Good morning to you. What's your name?
My name is Reckless Love.
Oh, Reckless Love, thanks for joining us this morning. Go right ahead.
Yes, I really want to appreciate you this morning, because you're a very good presenter, should I say. You are very nice. I've been enjoying your programs. You're so wonderful, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah, and what I want to say is, I don't know why this very government is very, very wicked, and they don't care what people think. Upon everything people are begging, shouting about the tax reform, they still insist that they won't do anything about it. So that means this very government is really not serious to help this country. May God bless us today. Thank you.
Amen. Or rather, may God continue to bless us, because He's been blessing us all the time. And then someone said, good morning, FM radio. Federal government designating bandits and kidnappers and all other forms as terrorists is welcome development. Husseini from Ayobo, thank you. And
I have an issue with that. It's when you designate a body as a terrorist, the court should be able to pronounce it. And I'm shocked. Nobody has approached the courts. To date, nobody has approached the courts to designate them as a terrorist organization. It's not just by fiat word of Mr. President. When the governors in the Southeast designated IPOB as a terrorist, they went to court, and the court pronounced it. So the federal government should use the instrumentality of the courts to give a backing to it, so that they will now know that they have been proscribed and, designated as terrorist organizations.
Wow. Okay, so Mazio Gochuku from Isheri, aka Elder General, or Shun, He's saying our Minister of Works has seen the cause of negligence of duty. Travelers are sleeping on the road, spending 2 or to 3 days for journeys of 6 hours. Branding bandits, kidnappers, headmen, terrorists is just a nomenclature that should be dealt with iron gloves. All of them are evil. Please release Mazi Namdi Kanu. I don't know where headsmen were not designated terrorists, so you should correct that. They were not.
No, that's why we said we need to have clarity.
Yes.
We need to have clarity. It should be proclaimed by the court that so and so groups are now terrorist organizations. So we know. There is no way you would do that and leaving out headsmen, because they are actually the ones who began this whole madness. Or people use them to because the headsmen you have today, unlike the headsmen you had in the 70s who carried stick, these ones are carrying AK-47.
I wonder if they should still be called headsmen, because that is not showing the signs of a headsman. So will they be called headsmen, or they're just disguising as that?
They are disguising, but I think the thing, what I expect,
because to call headsmen generally would be a generalization.
What I
that's
think the
dangerous.
National Assembly should do, which I've been waiting for them to do, is to make a law that makes open grazing a crime. That's what they should do. Criminalize it. When you criminalize it, then you will begin to say you're finding a solution to insecurity and unrest in the country.
And to sprinkle something into that, I think they should also make it in such a way that it should be the choice of any community to whether give land or not give land to these people if they come.
If you criminalize it, it becomes difficult for you to move your cows around. And people will now be, you will also make a law making it compulsory for people to ranch their cows. It's a business. Why are we pretending and doing as if we don't know it's a business? The guys selling their spare parts in Ladipo market, they are paying rent. Some of them bought the land, some of them rented it. So what is wrong with people going to rent or buy land and build a ranch? Who are the owners of these cows? Because each time we talk about these cows that is causing menace in this country, nobody has ever called out the owners. The cows are not owned by those who move around with them, the so-called headsmen. Who are the owners of these cows? Are they untouchable? They're doing a business and they're allowing their business to affect the lives of other people.
Let's take this call. I wonder why the call is not... Okay, let's take from WhatsApp then, if it's not. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, Yangu, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Prince Yaka, good morning, sir.
Morning.
My name is Daniel. I'm calling from Alaba.
Thanks for joining us. Go ahead.
No going back for tax refund next year. We say no paying if federal government have not given us account of the one they have collected. At least you tell us that you are going to give us health, you are going to give us goods road, you are going to give us light if the subsidy is removed. Today, subsidy have been removed. Nobody is telling us whether the road is good, where people are sleeping in the road for 4 days or 5 days while they are traveling. Then nobody is questioning this stolen money they stole in the NNPC. They must give us our money. Let them give us our money. Are they playing with a fool? And it's a time Nigeria need to rise up and tell these people that they are accountable to us. They're not more than us now. But why are we keeping quiet to them? Because we are keeping quiet to them, that's why they are pushing us like this. Pushing us like if we are not a human being. Look at common Ghana. Ghana is deporting Nigeria. Ghana that we chased away how many years ago. They are better off their country now. What did they do to make their country work? Nigeria is not learning it. But what they are telling us is every day they would find one thing or one story to oppress us. Yeah, Nigeria, you people have to wake up on 1st of December. Let us go out. 1st of January, I mean. Let us go out there. Please.
Yamgo, the thing is, I like it when Nigerians express themselves this way. But the truth of the matter is that the same Nigerians would collect 5,000, 10,000, 2 cups of rice
or buns,
or buns, just to vote the wrong person in. So how do you collect money from somebody you want to lead you, and then you expect the person to be accountable to you? It doesn't work. The reason why the political class are not accountable to Nigerians is because you collect money from them during their campaigns before the elections. You collect money from them, so you belittle yourself, you cheapen yourself.
Callers, I don't know why I cannot pick these calls. Anyway, Steve Ikelu from Maryland is saying, thanks for the revelation about the new tax reform. It's very inhuman of the executive arm of government to have tampered with the document just because they are targeting using the tampered document as trump up charges against political opponents in 2027. This tax law must be stepped down now. May God help us. Steve Ikelu, thanks, from Maryland. Then, okay. Nyamgul, I greet you all, VOP and us Nigerians. Please, is Tinubu a dictator? There is an allegation on the so-called tax law. With time, the truth will soon be out. So the Sokoto senator who flagged it is anyhow body. Instead of investigating, Tinubu wants to go ahead with implement. Which kind human is this? Hope another better alpha is not in the making. If not, why hurrying to gazette it? Definitely something is fishy. Tunde Karim from Ijani King. How would you even define a dictator?
A dictator is someone who doesn't listen to anybody. He'll just, he rounds people up and makes them do what he wants.
What's the difference between that and what we are finding in this country now?
We're getting close to it.
Close.
Like I keep telling people that Nigeria is or has become a failed state, but for the resilience of the people. The day the people will break loose, we will understand what a failed state is.
And my fear is, can we contain it when it gets to that point?
We will not be able.
That is the question I keep asking.
There was an issue you raised. It was in the newspaper headlines, the return of the 130 girls.
Yeah.
Yamgo, what is going on? Are we not being played? Are Nigerians not being scammed the way your former Minister for Aviation scammed Nigerians with non-available national carrier? How can you tell Nigerians that 300 or 200 and something people were kidnapped and they have been released and nobody was arrested, nobody was shot? What is going on?
No ransom was paid.
What is going on?
What struck me, it's a good thing that people are released, and I'm sure there will be joy everywhere. But when I saw the picture of these people that were being released and how they were behaving, it didn't feel like
they were kidnapped.
It didn't feel like that at all.
Yes, it felt like they were taken to a home and kept there.
Yes.
You see, I don't want to say what
they were doing high five. They were doing thumbs up.
I don't want to say what I feel deep in down, but I think it's part of the gimmick for 2027. The governor of Niger State said something, it has never happened in the history of Nigeria for people, this amount of people to be kidnapped and get released. And that got me worried.
I mean, it's
the way everybody talked about it. First of all, your national security advisor gave you assurance that they were in good hands and they were doing well.
In a kidnapper's den.
Exactly. And immediately after saying that, 100 children were released because of the visit of the Americans. And now the remaining has been released. Not one gunshot, not arrest, nothing. And, they asked the governor, did you pay ransom? Did they pay ransom? He said, no, that nobody should ask. It's not an information available to the Nigerian people. But it's an information for those privileged. I mean, this is to show you that I don't even know the kind of people we have as leaders.
We are. Wow.
We should know.
Let's hear from this one. Good morning.
Good morning, Yangu.
Good morning to you, sir.
And good morning, Prince Chilaka, my brother. This is John Legend calling from Mushi.
Go ahead.
Like what you said on radio concerning your road. I am from I am from Umuhu, where we call Umuhu in Abombise. And there is, if I'm traveling to my village, there is a road we pass through. We call that place Omonama from my village.
That's my place.
My brother, that road was a very wide road when we were children. It's a very big road. When I was a small boy, we used to go to that place and see, because we have not seen that road before. During the time of this particular governor of Hope Uzodema, who is now governing Abuja, that road now has been closed down. 2 cars cannot pass through that road. Because that is the road when we are traveling to Aba. We just come out from that place, then enter motor to Aba. That road is now a death trap. If you see the kind of hole in that place, my brother, you will cry. In this condition, where even my village, there is no single road in that particular my village. Now you want me to pay tax on what ground? Let me tell you something, Yangu. A day will come, even in that your studio, you cannot be there. I am telling you, you cannot see road to pass to you that your studio. Because why? These people are taking us for fools, and we are not fools. We are not fools. We are Nigerians. They are now taking our oil. Now Northerners are now mining their own gold, illegal. And now they are taking money from our oil, digging pipe, laying pipe from here to north. And now the gold they have there, we are not seeing any dividends of it. What kind of government is this? Yangu, a day will come. You see this Tinubu? He cannot hold Nigeria again, because you cannot beat a child and tell him not to cry, because I don't have any reason of me paying tax, and I don't have any reason that when I have a small money in my account, which I cover and pay big money for NEPA bill and pay big money for everything, and you still expect me to take money from that my small business I'm doing now to pay for tax, where you are looting 200 something trillion is missing in the crude oil that God gave us. 200 something trillion is missing, and nobody is giving us account of it till now. This Nigeria is Nigeria panda. Very soon it will blow to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It reminds me, I was telling a friend a story yesterday how I went to a bank some few years ago when all these taxes hadn't come anyway, and deposited, was it 11,000 or so for one of my boys, hoping that I will now begin to put in some money there until when he grows. Do you know, I went back there 3 years later and I was owing the bank. I was owing the bank in a safe, the account was a savings account, but so I was now owing the bank. And
for saving your money with them?
Yes. So what happened to the 11,000 in 3 years? It was really funny. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Uncle.
Good morning to you.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Compliments on the season.
Same to you, my brother.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, so I want to lend my voice to the issues on ground.
Okay.
You know, Nigeria, we are not really ready, because the day we get ready, the day we get restless, we will chase these politicians out of our country, because you cannot beat a child and expect the child not to cry. It's not possible. NNPC said 210 trillion naira was misplaced. Until today, nobody has been prosecuted. Nobody has said anything. Just allowed it to go like that. But Adisirika said he's buying and doing Nigerian air.
It was an air promise, so it was just air.
Audio air.
Yes. Oh, that's a combination. Or both audio and then air. That means we are just gone. Okay, sorry, we couldn't hear you anymore, so we had to cut you. Maybe you can call back, but so we are also expecting other calls to come. It's unfortunate. It's really difficult. Okay. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes.
This is I need vote to call him, but my name is Afun Wadam. I'm calling from Idum.
Nyamgul. It's very easy. Nyamgul.
I know you give Nyamgul. Let's give me better food. My chef and father should make sure that name Nyamgul.
Oh, you see, you didn't die. You just called it. You see. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, it's well. My name is Afun Wadam. I'm calling from Idum. See my own talking. What I'm trying to say. This government where we are. I don't know who put us for this condition. this government 210 trillion naira loss, we never find it. That 210 trillion naira is pay our debt, and we still have money in pocket. We don't find it. The car buy a plane, we don't see anything. Yesterday, at the hear news for Esther, for this government, they share $50,000, and the for senators, and the what do they call it? $30,000 for Federal House of Representatives. In this government, what we do them? Nothing they have done to favor this country. Nothing they have done. Only to start every day. Every day they will bring another. When they wake up in the morning, they will bring one thing to other to make sure they stop the formalities. And this government tell us that if you rule for 4 years, it's not no day. Let Nigeria vote out. You have 4 years going. I think you hearing me. Okay. So 4 years ago, you make more than 4 years ago. No land, no security, no roads. Well, so everybody becomes to APC. Let them remember that one day shall be one day. Monkey will go market, never return. That's my case. Thank you.
Thank you. That is if there will still be market for monkey to go to. That's the thing. Okay.
Well, monkey, when monkey sees banana, it doesn't remember the market. And that's the thing with Nigerians. When they see the largesse from politicians, they don't remember to do the right thing anymore.
But is it really largesse? Because I keep thinking, which kind juju be this?
Not
as we say in this thing.
Okay, now.
Because it is largesse.
When we said, when they're supposed to make a law banning vote buying, they refused. Is that not to show you the kind of politicians you have? These are people who will never stop what brought them to power.
But it's like going to, even if you were going to borrow some money from someone and he brings out that money and aims at you, like maybe puts it in a catapult and shoots you. Some people will say, for the sake of my dignity, let me not carry it. But this is what they're doing. Is this really largesse?
Those who have dignity will say no. But most people don't even know what dignity is. When you weaponize poverty, the people become stooges. And that's what is happening.
Okay, well, let's hope. We'll keep hoping, because when there is no hope, that means life is gone. That's what we have now. Hope, not the hope that was brought by this government.
Not the renewed hope.
Not renewed hope. Not the hope that came from the time of Buhari till now, but our own hope that...
Not the hope from Imo State as well.
Anyway, that's about it for this half of the program, and we are sure to return at 10:30 because we are going to give way to Igbo Amaka, and we'd like to thank you, Prince Chilaka, for coming on the show.
Thank you, Namgul.
All right. Okay, till we meet at 10:30, this is Nyamgul signing out for now.